First of all, Selena, you got a chance to speak with CEO Jack Dorsey. What did he have to say?
I did. It was one of his rare appearances in New York, and for him, he really sees this as a game changer, something that's really going to be a reason for large sellers to have no excuse to join Square. They no longer have to rely on an iPad and turn that into a point-of-sale register. Now, Square is offering an out-of-the-box package that provides a countertop register, a front-facing customer, a screen, as well as all of their software already integrated to it. He said that a big pain point of many of their large sellers was that they had to use kind of an unprofessional consumer device, the iPad, and have to constantly update it and integrate that with Square software, where in this way it just comes straight out of the box.
So, Bob, you've worked with a number of these point-of-sale companies. How do you see Square fitting into the larger competitive environment?
Well, I think it's a nice option, and as Selena pointed out, and as you mentioned, the addition of all the services is what a lot of these small retailers want. So you've had the big cash register companies, the NECs of the world, as even the Dells and HPs of the world that have done these point-of-sale terminals in the big malls. If you go into Gap stores and places like that, for years they had that kind of stuff. So this is a nice entry for Square to get into that, because it is more about the services and the ability to be able to do that. And yeah, it's a minor convenience to have both screens available, but an important step for them. It allows them to open the door, I think, to these other services, because they're not going to make a lot of money on that hardware.
How does this fit, Selena, into the larger vision that Square has, the loan business, Square Capital as well?
Definitely. As Bob mentioned, this is not going to be a significant revenue driver for Square. Part of all of their vision has been to serve hardware up really cheap, hook them into their system, and provide them all of these software services. And something that Jack said again today, he said over and over again, is that they want to grow with their sellers. So they started with that smartphone dongle for the tiny food truck, the tiny one-person seller. But as that seller grows to multi-locations, multi-country, Square wants to be there the entire way. So as a company has developed, so have their sellers. And this fits in really nicely into their loan business, which also helps Square grow. They recently applied for an industrial loan charger, which would be a big deal for their Square Capital business and would help reduce their costs there. But like Bob said, this isn't going to necessarily mean that they're going to all of a sudden take business away from the big players like Verifone and Ingenico, but it's a great product to upsell their existing seller base to.
Selena, having spoken with Jack Dorsey earlier today, obviously this is a big week for Twitter. The company will be testifying on Capitol Hill later this week. Did he have anything to say about that?
That's a great point. I said, just tomorrow your other company is going to be testifying, and he was very reticent to say anything specific, but he said he's flying straight back to San Francisco. He's feeling great. He said the company is recognizing what they control and they're working on improving it, and it's quite a contrast to Facebook, where Mark Zuckerberg and Sheryl Sandberg have both been on the phone with people in Congress. Sheryl Sandberg even made a trip out there. Jack, on the other hand, at least on the surface, seemed cool as a cucumber, but we'll have to see.